Good morning, students of class 9. Let us continue with the next part of the chapter, that is the onset of the monsoon and withdrawal of the monsoon. So, onset of the monsoon stands for the arrival or the coming of the monsoon, and withdrawal of the monsoon is the returning back of the monsoon. So, the monsoons, we all know, is the term we use to refer to the rainy months of our country. So, the onset of the monsoon is not very much particular, that is, the date of arrival of the monsoon is not fixed every year, and these monsoon winds are quite pulsating in nature. Pulsating means they are not very much serious regarding the time of arrival. It is very fluctuating in nature. So the monsoon winds are not steady winds, they are seasonal winds, which you have learned before, and these winds are not very steady, they are fluctuating in nature. Their time of arrival is not fixed every year. The dates of arrival vary because these winds encounter different kinds of atmospheric conditions when these winds move over the warm water of the seas and ocean. That is, when they come to India, they have to move over the warm water of the Indian Ocean, the Arabian Sea, the Bay of Bengal, and on the way there can be pressure differences. So, whenever there are pressure differences, the winds weaken and may withdraw. So, their date of arrival cannot be fixed every year. In some years they are early, in some years they are quite late. But more or less they stay in our country from 100 to 120 days, nearly 3.5 months, or sometimes even 4 months. Generally, from early June till mid September, these winds remain in our country. Now, how will we understand that these winds have arrived in India? So, when they arrive, at the time of the arrival, the amount of rain increases. Suddenly, the amount of rainfall increases, and this rainfall continues for few days at a stretch. Continuously, it will rain for 2 to 3 days at a stretch, and it is known as the burst of the monsoon. The arrival of the monsoon is known as the burst of monsoon, and it can be easily distinguished from pre-monsoon shower because the pre-monsoon shower occurs hardly for few hours in a day, and maybe it will be there for one day maximum, but it will not linger long. But the arrival of the monsoon is marked by heavy rain which continues continuously for few days at a stretch, and it is known as the burst of the monsoon. Now, the arrival of the monsoon is marked in few stages. It's not that the entire India receives this rain once at a time, but the monsoon winds first arrive at the southernmost tip of our country, that is Kanyakumari, and then gets divided into two branches. One branch enters into the Arabian Sea and is known as Arabian Sea branch of southwest monsoon winds. As I told you, the southeast trade winds, after they cross the equator, In my previous videos, I have already mentioned this fact. The southeast trade winds cross the equator and their direction changes due to the Coriolis force. Now the direction is from southwest and it is known as southwest trade winds or southwest monsoon winds. So it is known as the Arabian Sea branch of southwest monsoon winds or Bay of Bengal branch of southwest monsoon winds. So now let us see the diagram how these winds enter into a country and proceeds from southern India towards northern India. Now children, you can already see that I have drawn the arrows coming from the southern hemisphere. The southeast trade winds, they have entered into the northern hemisphere and now it is southwest monsoon winds. They come and hit the southernmost point of India, that is our Kanyakumari, and gets divided into two branches. One branch will enter into the Arabian Sea and it is known as Arabian Sea branch, and another branch will enter into Bay of Bengal and it is known as the Arabian Sea branch of southwest monsoons. Both these branches will more or less proceed at the same time. Now this branch will hit the Western Ghats. We all know that Western Ghats lying along the western coastal plain, and it will give heavy rainfall to the western coastal plain after hitting the Western Ghats. Now this Arabian Sea branch, after hitting the Western Ghats, proceeds further north. Then it will move between the Vindhyas. Here it was Vindhyas. You have already studied in the second chapter Vindhyas and Satpuras. So this branch will now enter to the northern part of the country and gets divided into two parts. One part will enter into the central India in between the gap of Vindhyas and Satpuras. The other one will move parallel in this way to the northern part of our country. Here there was the Aravalli range, and we all know children that Rajasthan is a desert. So this wind will move parallel to the Aravalli range. Now it will not give any rainfall to this part of the country because this wind is moving parallel. This wind is not hitting the Aravalli range. You can see I have drawn that it is moving parallel. It is causing little bit of rain in this southern part of Gujarat. Here are there some small hills in Gujarat where there is some amount of rainfall. This portion, which is the Kutch portion, if you remember children, when I was doing the second chapter, I had told you that here also we have the salt desert. Here it is totally covered with salt. Little bit of rainfall occurs in this part. There are small hills here, so little bit of rainfall is there. Here we have the Deccan Plateau, which lies at the back side of this Western Ghats, and so this portion also gets very less rain. This part lies in the rain shadow and gets very less rain. Now coming to this side, that is the Bay of Bengal branch of southwest monsoon. Now you can see children, here these winds are crossing just like that. Here this portion lies in the rain shadow area, so there is less rainfall. Even this part of Tamil Nadu hardly gets any rainfall during the monsoon season because just these winds are crossing over it. Here hardly there is any rainfall during this season, except some cyclones are pushed by the easterly jet stream, which may develop in Bay of Bengal. Only then that rainfall they are getting. But this monsoon winds are hardly giving any rainfall to this portion of India, that is Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, all this area. Now, this Bay of Bengal branch of southwest monsoon, this branch, it comes and hits again this hill ranges. You have already studied. Here we had Garo, Khasi and Jaintia ranges. Garo, Khasi and Jaintia. So this comes and hits the Garo, Khasi, Jaintia hill ranges, and there is heavy rainfall in this part. Okay, in this portion of India receives very heavy rainfall. In fact, here there is a place named Mausin Ram. This Mausin Ram receives the world's heaviest rainfall. It is just on the border of India and Bangladesh. It is in the state of Meghalaya and the district is Cherrapunji. This place, Mausin Ram, receives the heaviest rainfall in the world. Now, after hitting this Garo, Khasi, Jaintia ranges, this Bay of Bengal branch of southwest monsoon winds, they have picked up lot of moisture from the warm waters of Bay of Bengal, and after hitting Garo, Khasi, Jaintia hill ranges, they give heavy rainfall in this part, and then it gets divided into two branches. One branch moves towards our northeastern frontier India, the other branch turns and moves towards our northern plain. And this branch continuously give rainfall, and slowly it enters into the northern part of India. You can see, children, Meghalaya, Assam receives rainfall, then West Bengal receives rainfall, then Bihar receives rainfall, and in this way it proceeds towards the entire northern India. Now, after coming to this part, it slowly merges with this Arabian Sea branch. Here, close to Delhi, it merges with Arabian Sea branch. Here again, children, a part of this Bay of Bengal branch hits the Aravalis and gives some amount of rainfall. So, eastern Rajasthan receives some rainfall from the Bay of Bengal branch of southwest monsoon winds. It does not receive any rainfall from the Arabian Sea branch. A part of the Bay of Bengal branch meets the Aravali range, dashes against the Aravali range, and the eastern part of Rajasthan receives some amount of rainfall. But this portion of Rajasthan receives very less rainfall from this winds, because by this time most of the moisture has dried up and there is no space within the country to pick up moisture. So, eastern Rajasthan gets rainfall, but mind it, children, not from the Arabian Sea branch, but it receives rain from this branch, that is Bay of Bengal branch of southwest monsoon. Now, here close to Delhi, both these branches will merge together, and together they will move forward, and there is some amount of rainfall in Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand area, and little bit in Punjab, Haryana, and after that this winds, they lose their intensity. Now, by this time, when they reach here, it is already by the end of July, and the entire India has got rainfall. Now, during the summer season, children, there is a low pressure created over this India, over central India, and this low pressure attracts the wind, and the high pressure is positioned over the seas. There is high pressure over the seas, and so the winds are drawn towards India. And when it is the month of July, after that the conditions start changing, because after the rainy season the low pressure over here weakens, because the land has received rainfall, and it has become weight, and the low pressure now gets replaced by high pressure, and the low pressure slowly starts shifting towards the seas. So after the rainy season, what happens? This low pressure slowly starts changing to high pressure. When it is the month of September, the low pressure is replaced by high pressure. This low pressure is there in the month of June, and this high pressure starts changing into low pressure. This high pressure starts changing into low pressure. Now this low pressure starts attracting the winds, and now the winds will start moving backward, just in the opposite direction. So during the September month, the wind starts moving back. So from the northern part, they will slowly move back, and they will move out of India. So when it is almost the month of October, by mid-October, the entire winds which had come to India, all these winds will turn back and they will move out of India. And that is the time when the withdrawal season starts, and the withdrawal of the monsoon ends by mid-October. Now, the withdrawal of the monsoon is much more rapid in the peninsular portion, because we all know that the peninsular portion is tapering, and by early December the monsoon totally withdraws from the rest of the country. Now in our country, children, we have the island groups. The island groups are the ones which receive the very first monsoon showers, and they are the ones which bid goodbye to the monsoon showers. That is, the withdrawal of the monsoon is also the last one which passes from this island group. So after that, the winter season arrives, the winter monsoon arrives. So the onset of the monsoon, the arrival of the monsoon takes place in stages, and slowly from southern India, this winds enter India. They give rainfall to the western coastal plain, then to central India, then the western part, and from this side at the same time we have this winds entering through Meghalaya, Assam, then the northern plain, and slowly this winds merges over northern plain. Part of it also gives rain to eastern Rajasthan, and in this way these winds cover the country by July. By mid-July, the entire India receives this rainfall, and after that its turn for returning starts by September, early September, and by mid-October from northern part these winds withdraw, and again from the entire country it is the December when the winds withdraw from our country. So children, in my next video I will post on the seasons. So the onset of the monsoons and the withdrawal of the monsoons, I hope, is very clear to you all. So thank you children. Have a nice day.